Anyone who has a son knows that boys will be boys. They fall down, scrape their knees, and maybe shed a few tears. But what if your son had a rare condition that would make even the most minor bump or bruise fatal? Christian Mayfield is just such a boy.
The first time we really actually noticed anything, it was he fell and hit his head at my mom's 50th birthday party, and it swelled up really bad. We called the doctor that evening, and the doctor stated, well, it's probably ITP. Just go in and have counts done the next day, and we'll go from there.
The biggest things the parents worry about and the physician worries about is it being some leukemia or a type of cancer that may do that. The more common finding is a disease called ITP, or idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura, and what happens there is that you have a low platelet count, and because the platelets are needed to clot your blood, you're not able to stop the bleeding, and you have this easy bleeding.
We never heard of it and had no clue what ITP was, and it just put us into a tailspin to try to figure out what was going on with our child.
Usually this is a self-limited problem, and that's what we hoped with Christian, in that it usually lasts just a few months and then everything goes back to normal.
Okay, so this is a one-time thing. We'll be over it in a couple of weeks and go on. And it didn't turn out that way, and it was scary.
The hardest thing I imagine for the parents was to try to keep him from doing things that might cause an injury and bleed in places that we didn't want to have happen.
It was very tough thing to deal with when you have to tell your child no, just the very basic things of going outside and playing in the yard.
One of the biggest issues with Christian when he would come in, his platelets would be so low that any injury that he could have could actually cause him to bleed to death or have a lot of problems with that. Being an active child as he was, that was one of the biggest fears for the parents.
We did a 4-week course of treatment. It worked 1 week. We got up to 13,000 and then bottomed back out at 2.
It was decided that the final step when all the medicines fail is we then take that spleen out and let the body just go ahead and keep making the abnormal platelets. And as long as those platelets stop your bleeding, then that's okay.
When we started the process of getting him all the immunizations he needed for having his spleen removed, we did the bone marrow test just to make double sure of what we were dealing with. And on Friday, December 13th, we took our 4-year-old child in to have his spleen removed at Cook's.
Finally, and since that time, Christian's done quite well, and his platelet counts have been normal. He clots his blood normally, doesn't have any bruising or bleeding problems, and he's back to being a normal kid and doing great.
That's a good thing. It's a good feeling. He's normal.
Yeah, it's nice to feel that way versus the way we used to feel every day. It's great. It really is. Feel like we got him back.
The Mayfields were grateful to have the staff at Shannon nearby before and after Christian's surgery.
They're just great. All the people down there are just great people.
You know, they try to understand everything. They know that our job is very important to help him get better. They just helped us do whatever we needed to do.
Weiner is awesome.
As much as we've had to deal with him on a daily, a weekly, a monthly basis over the last 3.5 years, his patience, his ability to answer our questions, it's just been wonderful to have him on our team helping us with this fight.
He takes care of me.
Future's wide open for Christian. He will be whatever he wants to be. He can do whatever he wants to do. There's nothing to hold him back.
Funding from the Children's Miracle Network enabled the Mayfields to receive the treatment they needed right here at home.
The Children's Miracle Network's involvement with Shannon Hospital, helping us provide a specialist that can come, and for Christian does not have to go to Fort Worth every month to see a specialist. He can see the specialist here, not having to spend all that much time on the road, staying in strange places and strange hospitals. So it was a lot easier on everybody.
They're our family, and from the moment we walk in on the job, it's really not a job, in my opinion. It is, I've come home to make my family here better.
They do provide the best, and they did for us.
Please support the Children's Miracle Network and help kids like me.